The night Ryan Blackwood's Porsche rolled back into Willow Creek, Elena Martinez was already 3 moves ahead. She'd been tracking his LinkedIn, his Instagram stories, even his company's press releases for months. The corporate golden boy was coming home, and she'd spent 2 years preparing for this moment. The rain hammered her apartment windows like bullets, matching the rhythm of her racing heart. Her phone buzzed. A text from her best friend Sarah. "Holy shit, Elena, he's at Miller's bar right now." With her, Elena's blood turned to ice. Woman who'd stolen her fiancé and her future in one calculated move. But Elena Martinez didn't break anymore. She'd learned to bend others instead. She pulled on her little black dress, the one Ryan used to say made him forget his own name, smiled at her reflection. Tonight, Miller's bar fell silent when Elena walked in. In a town of 3,000 people, everyone knew the story. Ryan Blackwood, high school quarterback turned Wall Street success story. Elena Martinez, the girl who'd loved him since freshman year, only to be blindsided when he chose a promotion and another woman over their engagement. But what they didn't know was that Elena had spent 24 months becoming someone new, someone dangerous. Ryan sat in their old booth with Jessica pressed against his side, like she owned him. When his eyes found Elena across the room, his beer froze halfway to his lips. Well, Elena said, sliding uninvited into the seat across from them. "If it isn't Willow Creek's prodigal son and his upgrade." Jessica's perfectly manicured fingers tightened on Ryan's arm. "Elena, we didn't know you'd be here." "Honey," Elena's smile was razor sharp. "This is my town. You're just visiting." Ryan finally found his voice. "Elena, we should talk, should we?" She leaned back, letting her gaze rake over him with calculated indifference. "I thought you'd said everything. 2 years ago when you fucked my maid of honor and took that Chicago job without telling me." The entire bar was listening now, but Elena didn't care. Let them watch. Let them see what happened when someone tried to play games with Elena Martinez. That's not how you remember it. Elena stood, her voice carrying across the suddenly silent room. "Don't worry, Ryan. I remember everything, and I mean everything." She walked away, leaving Ryan pale and Jessica furious. But as she reached the door, she turned back with a smile that could cut glass. "Oh, and Ryan, welcome home. I think you're going to find Willow Creek very different from how you left it." What Ryan didn't know was that Elena Martinez now owned half the town. While he'd been playing corporate prince in Chicago, she'd been quietly buying up properties, befriending city council members, and building relationships with every business owner, banker, and influential family in Willow Creek. Inheritance from her grandmother had been the start. Smart investments and ruthless networking had done the rest. By the time she'd gotten Sarah's text about Ryan's return, Elena controlled the zoning board, held mortgages on 3 major businesses, and had Mayor Thompson's complete trust. Ryan thought he was coming back too. Save his dying hometown with some corporate development project. He had no idea he'd be working for her. The next morning, Ryan discovered his first problem. "I'm sorry, Mr. Blackwood," said Martha Henderson, the city clerk who'd known him since he was 5, "but all commercial development permits have to go through the Historical Preservation Committee now. New ordinance passed last month. Historical Preservation Committee." Martha's smile was apologetic but firm. Chairwoman is Elena Martinez. You'll need her approval for your project. Ryan stared at the papers in his hands. His multi-million-dollar development plan, the one that was supposed to revitalize Willow Creek's dying downtown, was dead in the water without Elena's signature. He'd underestimated her. A text from an unknown number. Coffee. Harper's Calf. Let's discuss your predicament. Ryan closed his eyes. She hadn't just moved on, she'd moved up, and now she held all the cards. Elena was already seated when Ryan arrived at Harper's Calf, fingers wrapped around a steaming mug like she had all the time in the world. She'd chosen their old table on purpose, the one by the window where they'd planned their entire future over countless Sunday mornings, where he'd proposed on a snowy December day that felt like a lifetime ago. "You look good, Ryan," she said, without looking up from her coffee. "Chicago suited you. Success always does." He sat across from her, tension radiating from every muscle. "Elena, about what happened. We're not talking about the past." Her smile was businesslike, cold. "We're talking about your future, or lack thereof. Your development proposal? Impressive. 40 million in investment capital. Plans for a boutique hotel, artisan shops, a conference center. Very ambitious." Ryan's jaw tightened. "How did you get a copy of your confidential business plans?" Elena's laugh was musical and terrifying. "Ryan, sweetheart, this is a small town. I know what color underwear you put on this morning." She leaned forward, her voice dropping to a whisper that somehow felt more threatening than a shout. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to withdraw your development proposal. You're going to pack up your girlfriend and your fancy car, and you're going to leave Willow Creek tonight. Or," she continued, "I approve your project, but with conditions. My conditions. Starting with the fact that I'll be your business partner, 50-50 split on everything." Ryan stared at her. "You can't be serious." "Deadly serious." Dropping a $5 bill on the table. "You have until 5 p.m. to decide. Choose wisely, Ryan. This time, there's no do-over." What Elena didn't expect was Ryan's countermove. At 4:47 p.m., 13 minutes before her deadline, her phone rang. The caller ID made her heart stop. Marcus Chen, Jessica's brother, the shark lawyer who'd helped Ryan's company acquire half of downtown Chicago. "Ms. Martinez, this is Marcus Chen. I represent Mr. Blackwood in all business matters. I believe you two need to have a conversation." Elena's blood turned cold. "What kind of conversation?" "The kind where you discover that my client has been buying up properties in Willow Creek under shell corporations for the past 18 months, including the building that houses your office, the apartment you're renting, and the Harper's Calf where you had your little meeting. Today," the phone slipped in. Elena's suddenly sweaty palm. "That's impossible, is it? Check your lease agreements, Ms. Martinez. Look at the ownership records. My client didn't come back to Willow Creek to beg for your permission. He came back to take it." Elena's hands shook as she pulled up the property records on her laptop. One by one, the purchases appeared on her screen. Shell companies with innocuous names, all leading back to one source. Ryan Blackwood. He'd been planning this longer than she had. He'd been playing the game before she even knew it had started. Elena's apartment door opened without a knock. Ryan stood in the doorway, holding up a key. "Landlord privileges," he said quietly. She was sitting on her couch, laptop still open. surrounded by the wreckage of her research. Every property she thought she controlled, every business relationship she'd cultivated, he'd been 3 steps ahead the entire time. How long? She asked, not looking up. Since the day you left me. He stepped into the apartment, closing the door behind him. I came back from Chicago that night. Elena, I broke up with Jessica, quit the job, came back to fight for us. But you were already gone. Elena finally looked at him. You're lying. Your landlord told me you'd packed everything and left town that morning. No forwarding address, no goodbye. You chose her. You chose the job. Ryan sat on the coffee table directly in front of her, close enough to touch, but not touching. I chose wrong. And when I came back to fix it, you were already gone. So I went back to Chicago, and I started planning. Planning what? To win you back. His voice was raw, honest in a way that made her chest ache. Every property I bought, every business connection I made, every move I've made for 2 years has been about creating a reason to come home. To come back to you. Elena stared at him. That's the most elaborate, manipulative, yes. He didn't deny it. It is. I learned from the best. The silence stretched between them, heavy with 2 years of hurt and misunderstanding. So what now? She whispered. You win, I lose. Ryan reached into his jacket and pulled out a thick manila envelope. Now you choose. Elena opened it with trembling fingers. Inside were property deeds, business contracts, and legal documents, all of them transferring ownership of everything, every building, every investment, every piece of Ryan's elaborate plant. I don't understand. I never wanted to own you. Elena, I just wanted to deserve you. He stood up, heading for the door. The properties are yours. The business plan is yours. The choice is yours. He paused at the door. For what it's worth, I never stopped loving you, even when I was being too proud and too stupid to fight. For you the first time. The door clicked shut behind him, leaving Elena alone with the weight of his confession and the power to destroy him completely. Elena found Ryan at the lake at midnight. He was sitting on the dock where they'd carved their initials into the old oak tree, the same tree that had been struck by lightning and split in half the winter after he left. Are you really leaving? She asked, settling beside him. In the morning, he didn't look at her. Jessica's already gone back to Chicago. Turns out she was only interested in the successful version of me. And what version are you now? Ryan's laugh was bitter. The version that spent 2 years and every dollar I had trying to buy back something that was never for sale. Pulled her knees to her chest. You know what the worst part is? Tell me I never left that night because I stopped loving you. Her voice was barely above a whisper. I left because I loved you too much too. Watch you choose everything else. Me. They sat in silence, watching the moon's reflection fracture on the dark water. So what now? Ryan asked. Elena stood up, extending her hand to him. Now we stop playing games. The grand opening of the Willow Creek Heritage District was everything Elena had envisioned and more. The boutique hotel was booked solid through the fall. The artisan shops were thriving. And the conference center had already hosted 3 weddings and a regional business summit. Elena stood on the hotel balcony, watching the sunset paint the town in gold. Below, tourists and locals mingled in the courtyard, where live music drifted up from the new amphitheater. arms wrapped around her from behind, and she leaned back into Ryan's warmth. "Regrets," he murmured against her ear. Elena looked down at the diamond ring on her left hand, not the same ring from before, but something new, something they'd chosen together. "Just one," she said. "What's that?" She turned in his arms. "That it took us 4 years to figure out we were playing for the same team." Kiss tasted like second chances and forever promises. And in Willow Creek, where gossip moved faster than wind, everyone agreed that some love stories were worth the wait.